Hello, so hopefully the stream's on. Yep, I've got comments already. So as the title suggests on this one, this would be a good stream to chat about feedback and stuff. And what I want anybody to do is to ask for an unblock if they think they've been blocked on another account or whatever. And because I'd love to unblock people and just chat with people as long as we can do it in a civil way. So I think pretty much anybody I'd be willing to unblock, as long as, you know, people are civil about it. But I would say to everybody in the chat as well, you know, don't gang up on people or whatever, let them speak their piece, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably only stream for about an hour tonight, because obviously I've been working all the weekend as usual. So, you know, but, you know, just say my account with name whatever has been blocked, or I think it's been blocked, can you check and unblock it? Oh, that's a point. Let me get my community bit up ready. I'll probably go into some of the reasons I block people in this stream, but a lot of the time it can just be, and this is what I'm going to say why I definitely want to let people back on, because I was sort of discussing this with some people. It can certainly be sometimes I'm being a bit petty with, you know, often because I'm chronically ill, if I'm in a bad mood because I feel like shit, sometimes, you know, a comment can rub me up the wrong way, and that's all it takes. So, you know, obviously people that are racist and completely, you know, complete dickheads like that, they're not getting back on, but, or, you know, if they do that again, then they're getting blocked. But, you know, for people that are just, you know, I've had a disagreement with for whatever reason, I'd be very happy to unblock them. So, what I'm going to do is, basically, do that. And I said, I don't want to get into any e-drama, so basically, if we need to, we'll agree to disagree with people. I think is the best course of action. And after this stream, people can still request to be unblocked, and I'll unblock them. But, you know, I don't want to get drawn into it, so I don't want people to say, why does this group hate you? Somebody's bitching about you here, because, like I said, I don't want to start fights with people. Oh, so there's a good amount of people on tonight. But yeah, please do request an unblock, because as I said, I'd love to chat to people. I've got slow mode on, that's just so I can keep up with the chat if I have to respond to people and, you know, read their critique and everything. Peach, that made me laugh. Josh, I would guess for on 14. Probably £20 to £30. Depends if it comes with the bag and everything. But again, as people have said, sometimes you can get them a lot cheaper. I'm not going to get anything down on this stream just because the point of the stream is meant to be a feedback one. You know, I'd be happy to do that on another stream, but this is mostly going to be on responding to comments. So if there's stuff you like, let me know what you like. If there's stuff you don't like, let me know. As like I said, keep it civil. And as I said, if people want to be unblocked and they think they've been blocked, please just give me what your username is, because unfortunately with YouTube, it seems I can't just clear my block list, because otherwise I'd just do that right away. But unfortunately it seems you can just remove them one name at a time, and that would take ages to go through everyone. And I can't remember, you know, half the time why certain people are on it, so... or the majority of people, to be honest. I mean, now and again you get the spam bot kind of things when you're doing a stream, where you get like 20 accounts all spamming the same message. Yeah. Has everybody had a nice day? Today at work was quite good, actually. I have that thing that's a bit like a Finnish M71, but it's the one with the weird British filter on it, and we can't figure it out. No, I collect... gas masks are like one of the main things I collect, just because they're cheap, as I've said. But the thing is, I collect like body armour, deactivated rifles, swords, you know, all that sort of thing. Militaria in general, to be honest. I'd say polycarbonate ones, mate, because if you have a gas mask with polycarbonate lenses, they are more resilient to things like BBs and stuff like that, so it's less likely to crack and break. Quite a few years, James. It might be, but I'd have to pick stuff, one thick Walugi, which would be, you know, like not copyright sort of stuff and stuff like that. So, if you, it seems, Amanda, yes, if you put a proper O-ring in it, but then you're still forcing the filter in, it won't make a proper seal. And you can get normalised filters that fit it, but in general, Ghost and NATO are different threads. Top one is a Lee Enfield. One there is an FN FAL or an L1A1 SLR because it's the British version. Bows, crossbows. Do Blades and Bows still have anything in Zeppelin? Because they were doing their closing down sale. So a lot of the stuff on there was cheaper, but a lot of the Armex ones I quite like, or the Jandao, or whatever they're called, or Mankung ones. Polang, is it? There's lots of different sort of Chinese or Taiwan brands that are, you know, quite cheap and they're fairly good crossbows. My favourite gas mask is the Avon CT12. Shot Zombie, as the title says, they're all deactivated. What this stream's about is basically just a feedback one. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and as I've sort of said a few times, anybody that thinks they might be blocked, let me know what your username is that you think is blocked, either with a different account or get somebody else to post it for you, and I will start unblocking them. Well, the problem is in the UK, obviously, I can't get a live one without a license, so I'd have to get a deactivated one, and a lot of the time deactivated Mosin-Nagants can still be silly expensive, you know, like several £100s, and for that money, not really, because I've already got a bolt action Lee Enfield. While Christian stuff, I can read your comments, so you're obviously not blocked. But yeah, if anybody's interested, just type am I blocked or similar in the chat, and then I can check for you. And as I said, if for any mods that are on, if people are saying, why is this account blocked, don't block them, because I want to unblock their accounts. Throw away a GP5 filter, what you'd have to do is work out what your local asbestos removal laws are and dump it somewhere where you're allowed to get rid of asbestos. Yep, Frank, it's certainly, what is the name of your other account? Type it in and I can unblock it. Let me get the thing up ready. Community settings, I think I go on that. Let me just get it up ready and then I'll let you know. Yeah, okay, what I have to do is just Control F on this page. And then as soon as you give me a username, I can see if it's on there. If it's on there, I will take it off and then click Save, and you should be able to comment on that account. No, in the UK you can't have a butterfly knife. You can have, like, one without an actual blade in it. Like a trainer one. Yeah, the problem with cheek filter masks, acid meltdown, is just simply the problem that, you know, that they're, you can't replace them while they're in the mask. That's the problem. Some of the cheek filter masks are quite comfortable, you know. Some of them give you good vision, you know, and all that. It's just that you can't replace the filters while they're in the mask, which is a big problem. Right, let me have a look for that. Right, that's now unblocked. It might... I don't know how long it takes YouTube to process that, but it's unblocked. So yeah, Frank, I've done it at my end. Whether or not it goes live on your end, I don't know. Just said, don't post, like, edgy racist stuff or anything like that, but if you want to have a serious critique of my stuff, please go ahead. I would love that. I've got a Piff helmet, but I'm not wearing it. Or do you mean you got a Piff helmet? Completely depends which one you want, Yanan. You're not blocked, Rocks, because I can read your comment. Yeah, Polish NBC suits are good for £5. No, missed, you're not blocked. As said... Yeah, there you go, you're back. As said... yeah, and don't forget to like the stream. This stream, I'm trying not so much to answer just general questions, because I'd like it to be more of a feedback stream, and I'd like to start unblocking people who want to be unblocked. I'd say no, patriotic Brit, but I'm sure there's people that would consider it that. I assume it could protect you from acid rain. Nova Airsoft, you're not blocked, unless it's on another account. I don't know if this is so much of a theme stream, really, but it's what I want to do. Right, the thing with the M50 for me is I quite like the design of it, but I don't like the filters for it. Like the same problem the Scott GSR. Especially because I've got that old gen of M50 that isn't good, and you know, you can say I'm an Avon fanboy, but I don't actually like this old M50 in the sense that it doesn't reseal properly. I still prefer 14mm masks as how easily available the filters are on the civilian market. No, you're not blocked the Great Outdoors, because you're commenting. The body armour in the back is a British, no, not British Army, sorry, British Police Kevlar vest, level 2, and it's got a French riot armour sleeve type thing over it. The thing is, unless they're to current DEAC specifications, you wouldn't be able to sell them, so I'd only buy deactivated guns through the proper channels, just because that guarantees that you're not going to get into any legal trouble surrounding it. Alright, that's cool, Jacob. If you've got a charcoal filter on it, as in a vapor filter MX, no you can't, because if you can, it means that filter's not working, because all the odours get blocked by the charcoal. I think some odours can be particulate, but not many, because if ever I wear a dust mask kind of mask, you can always still smell stuff through it, or at least the majority of things. I think it's just, or it might be the size of the particle that makes the smell. I got mine from a place called D&B Militaria. Not my sort of thing, Nova Airsoft, but if somebody wants to be that, I've got no problem with it. I got both my MM1s from eBay. If you search MM1 gas mask on eBay, quite a few come up. Alright, thank you, good meme. Right, there is a Discord server already, mate, but the Discord server I've got is just one for people who support me on Patreon or do a super chat. Also, good meme, if you want an invite now to the Discord server, just make a comment on another video with your Discord user ID and I'll set that up for you. I might try and go on back on our gas mask. The problem is, this is kind of what this stream about, is because I seem to be such a divisive figure, which I really don't want to be, with a lot of gas mask collectors and things like that. I've kind of not been on there in ages, just because I don't want to inflame stuff anymore. And that's kind of like, you know, what this stream's about, in a sense, that if anybody wants to be unblocked that I may have blocked, please give me your usernames, and then if you want to critique me or whatever, as long as you're being polite about it, please just do it. I just answer that questions, MX Master. The answer is no if you've got a vapor filter on it. Stauhelm, I'd say. That's interesting. There's lots of nations, aren't there? Old like Warsaw Pact nations or whatever, or Eastern Bloc nations that have started upgrading their equipment to NATO standards recently, so they've got a weird mix of like old Soviet stuff and modern NATO stuff. It's quite strange. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because it does help me out. But as said as well, please, if you want to be unblocked, if you think you're blocked, please give me your username, and I'll try and unblock you. What I might do, if I don't get enough people respond to this one, is just see if there is a way I can start deleting loads and loads and loads of the names off my block list. But unfortunately, there's not a clear all button on that, which I think would be really useful if YouTube implemented that, because obviously my block list has been built up over like 6 or 7 years of having a YouTube channel. I started this one in 2012, so yeah, 7 years. So obviously there's quite a lot of names on there just because of the sheer amount of time, and imagine a lot of those accounts aren't even still active. I'm not going to be putting any masks on this stream. No, Fico, you're not blocked. Sadly, I don't have any Italian NBC gear, so I can't comment on it. That's very cool, if there's a gas mask with a thermal thing on it. Oh, sorry, boy, I missed your thing. Let me search for that and see if I can find it on the list. I don't think caps. Right, I found you. You are taken off of that list, so hopefully if you switch accounts now, you can comment on that account if you want to do that. There you go. Probably over 100 Antec. Oh, sorry, you're saying you're doing it with caps. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. If I control F, I'll find it with or without the caps. What I have for pollen is, sorry, I've cut these into small things. They're antihistamines, a 10mg one. I get them on prescription. I'm seeing in my drawer if I've got a load of boxes of them, because I get them on repeat prescription from the doctors. Oh, here we go. Loratadine or something like that. These are pretty good. Normally I just take 10mg, but sometimes I take 2 of them. From what I've read, the overdose risk of antihistamines is so low it really doesn't matter. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Sadly, I don't have any Italian gas mask, Amanda. I wish I did. I did a did you not see the video MX Master the other day? The Real Weapons of Mordau. which was where I showed all my swords and things like that. Most arc lighters, electric lighters, like £20 or more. Depends on how good they are and where you're buying them from. Some of them are certainly overpriced because they're the exact same. Made in China lighters, just rebranded. What weapon collector said he might do, and it might be a good idea, if I can't just do a full unblock thing, is he might do a private video that you can get to from one of my videos. It might actually be better if it's not a private video. And then that way, people, if they think they're blocked, can comment on that one, and then I can check for them on that one, because obviously the problem is they'd need a second account on this one to actually get to me. I can see your comments, cursed images. Sometimes I can't see all the comments on here, because the annoying thing is with these live streams, is it seems YouTube does just kind of like shadow hold some comments, where people post a comment, it won't even turn up in how to review, it just does not appear on the streams. I'd say it would be good for actual use. You could wear glasses under it, that's the thing. If you look on eBay or Amazon, just type in electric lighter or arc lighter, lots come up. Yeah, I'd say just maybe do it as a normal video, Mike, then you might get people to find it. You could just do it as a really short video, saying something like, this is a video for people who want to be unblocked on weapons and stuff, Snipey Free's channel. Please just leave a comment on here and you'll get back to you. And I could bookmark that video. But as I said, what I might try and do is just see, when I've got enough time and I've not got much to do, I might just go through my entire block list and just start unblocking loads of people that way, but it's just going to be a pain because I'd have to do it manually. I've got a Motorola for a cell phone, or you know, mobile. I don't think bulletproof gas masks exist, mate. In theory, I guess somebody could make a mask that could have a filter on it. Like they could essentially make some sort of, you know, Kevlar face shield where a filter could screw into it. I'm sure it's possible, but I don't think any exist. I play Stalker now and again, but I haven't streamed it in a while. At some point I might stream it again. I might stream some Armour Free soon, because a few people have been asking me to stream Armour Free, and I've actually been getting into it now. Basically, Chemical Giant, if you think you've been blocked by me and you want to be unblocked, let me know and I'll unblock you. And if you want to leave feedback, positive or negative, as long as you do it politely, I am very happy to hear it. I've never got the whole ASMR thing, personally. Oh, Sir Oofington, I didn't see that one. Let me search that one, sorry. Just keep repeating the comment if I've not. You're on the list. I have unticked you. I will click save. You're done. Right. Yeah, so try and switch now. Alright, that's a good idea, Mike. Because the thing is, a lot of the time, as I was saying to people earlier in the stream, sometimes, of course, I will block people for 100% legitimate reasons, like they're being an asshole to me, or other people, you know, being complete dickheads. But a lot of the time, like I was saying, if I'm in a bad mood when I'm reading the comments, I could just take something the wrong way and act a bit, you know, prematurely. It could just be something like that. Yeah, for some people it probably works, for me it just doesn't. eBay, your name? They're quite expensive for what they are, but I think £20–30 plus you can get tank helmets. It depends if you want the Soviet one or another nation's one. I've seen some of the really cool US Navy optical masks from World War II, but I don't have any of them. I only have a USM free diaphragm mask from World War II. No, I can read your comment, freegat, or however you call it, so am I blocked? No, you're not. Yoda eating a burger while parents argue downstairs, ASMR. That'd be very strange. But yeah, please don't be shy. I'll tell you what, I'll put slow mode down slightly for the moment, if it lets me. How do I change slow mode in the new stream interface? I don't actually know. I don't think it lets me now. Shit. Alright, never mind. Slow mode can stay on the setting it's on. Which movie you're on about? There's a grease gas mask. Oh, I can see your comments, Sir Roofington, so you're back. Right, yeah, let me just go to that one, Polo. Morava Boy. Let me have a look for that one. Right, I found you. Is it like the Croatian flag or something like that on it? With an eagle. I found it, so it's unblocked. There you go. Sorry, let me go back to the comment I was on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Greece made a mask. Was it called the Cobra or something like that? It's like an M65 clone. I don't know if it's as good as the Israeli M15, but it's very similar to that. No, I've not had kids, and I wouldn't have kids just because I'm so chronically ill. I really wouldn't want kids. Right, I'll sort that out. Cursed images. Give me a second. What did you say it was? I found one called Chicken Nuggets 055. Is it that one? Or is it another one? Because that's the only one coming up for chicken nuggets. Yeah, Matthew, I can see your comment. I haven't seen that movie. Yeah, I certainly plan on doing more gas mask videos, but I like doing them, you know, when there's something interesting. And loads of people watched the one today, didn't they? That surprised me how many people initially watched that one. I'm sorry, Cursed Image, you're not on that list then, so you're not blocked, as far as I can tell. And let me just take it to chicken, just in case it's done it in a weird way on this front. Let me go from the top. There's one called chicken. Tell you what, anything with the name chicken and I'll just unblock. That's the easiest way of doing it. 2-piece chicken box, unblock. Chicken nuggets, 55, unblock. Frozen chicken product, unblock. Chickens on weed, unblock. And chicken. Right, they're all the ones with chicken in the username and they're all unblocked. So there we go, that's all done. So I'm afraid if you weren't in that list, I don't think you're blocked in the first place. Navy Mark III mask will do. That's similar to the one I have, the diaphragm one, but it's not exactly the same. Yeah, it's a cool looking mask. It's the one with the filter on the back. That's quite cool. Isn't that the one they have at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead when the SWAT team raid that building with the zombies in? I mean, on about the original Romero one. Not easily. I mean, there's like the refillable Chinese filters. It's impossible to say because there's not actually a counter. The list is huge, but that's mostly because I've had this channel for 7 years. So obviously, if you imagine, at the moment, I get anywhere, I'd say, between 30 and 100 comments a day, and I try and respond to every comment. So if you imagine, let's say, every day of the year, if there's one person that does something that gets them blocked, that is going to pile up pretty quickly. Spears are always good. Chemical Giant, they're very primitive. I've got an M50, if that's the mask you mean. The M50 I like, but I'd rather it just take 40mm filters, which I think the C50 does. But I still prefer things like the CT12, because I prefer, you know, like, mask designed around 40mm. You can take World War II filters off of masks, but you can't really change them as such, if that makes sense. If I'm sort of understanding what you mean. Yeah, exactly, Mike. That's the thing. Yeah, I've seen the Resident Evil films. I only like the first two. I think they get a bit crap after that, and even the first two aren't great, but Mila Jovovich, whatever her name is, she's pretty hot, isn't she? Your comment is showing the poundage. The bows in the background, because there's none of my crossbows behind there. That's, I think, something like 25 to 28 pounds draw weight. The big recurve, the really tall recurve. The Barnet Banshee, or whatever it is, I can't remember what the draw weight of that one is. The Barnet Flatbow, I think, is about a 20-pound draw weight. The other one's only like a 10-pound draw weight, but I actually bought the really low draw weight one just to see how far it would go into a target at like 10 yards, you know. That crossbow barely even shoots because it's designed as a wall replica. You can load it and shoot it, but it's not going to fire a bolt very far. I actually did a video testing it to see, you know, what it would do. It does nothing, is basically. The M50 has a soft lens, and then it has a hard, like, polycarbonate cover over it. So it's both, technically, but if you were going to use it for something with impacts, you'd need the hard cover over it. Ah, cool. So you mean like the PMK, like the GP7 style one in the background is the triangular lenses? It's already 40mm, as in 40mm GOST, but yeah, if you put enough O-rings in it and forced it, I'm sure you could get a 40mm NATO filter on it. Sadly, I don't think that's the case anymore, Shot Zombie. Yeah, so was my, well, he's my normal grandfather, not my great-grandfather, but yeah, he's in World War II and he's still alive in his 90s. Cheapest mask for a survival situation. It's really going to depend on the country you're in, because surplus prices and everything change all the time, and you know what you can get in your country with shipping and everything really varies. It's hard to say. I've done videos recommending different masks, but off the top of my head I can't really say, because you know I don't know what's available to you. That's the issue. I suppose you could buy a Chinese TF1 gas mask or a Chinese FMJ05 gas mask for like £20 sort of price on eBay. 20 to £30, and they take 40mm NATO filters. So yeah, maybe just do that. As said, a lot of the Taiwan crossbows that haven't been rebranded, because the vast majority of crossbows are either made in China and Taiwan, then they're sold for either not very much, or they're sold by other companies rebranded for a lot more money, even though it's literally the same crossbow. If you want to spend loads of money, you can go for things like Barnet crossbows, or is it Merlin crossbows, or something like that, or is it Excalibur crossbows? I can't remember what they're called. Some of those are very good high quality crossbows, but I don't think the price increase from the very cheap ones justifies, you know, the improvements. Let me have a look. Weapons and not weapons, weapon collector even. I didn't see that post come up on mine, but let me have a look. Creep iron. Yep, found him. He is unblocked now. So if he wants to come on this account, he can do. No, suddenly I've not got the prototype PMK with a cheek filter. That would be a PMK I hate even more, I guess. Yeah, if you're in the US, you could spend $40 on M40. Over here, that would be a lot harder because of the US export ban on surplus. Okay, so you'd need to get the MF11 version, not the NATO, not the FMJ05. Thank you for letting me know. That's very good to know. Alright, yeah, cool. Any that get asked on there, Mike, let me know and I will deal with them. And when I say deal with them, I mean unblock. But yeah, you mean this version, don't you? That one. MF11. I doubt World War I sounds would be very soothing or relaxing. It reminds me of those Red Orchestra ones where people put all like the whimpering wounded soldiers in with the screams and like shells exploding. Yeah, the law is basically, it's not an import law for the UK. It's basically the US has a law where you can't export surplus. Also, if you're hype, because you've got a cat picture and you seem to know a lot about Chinese filters, sorry for blocking you. I just got a bit pissed off that you were joking. I can understand that. As I said, sometimes I just have a bit of a short temper and I shouldn't do that, but oh well. If you ever want to come back, I'll let you back in. Just let me know. Right, yeah, I'll sort that out later if you want. The problem is sometimes I literally honestly can't tell when people are actually just making a joke and being malicious. That's the problem. So, you know, sometimes I can, you know, Comrade Stalin, I can read your posts, so. I do several jobs. I mean, I do YouTube, I work weekends at a garden centre near where I live. I mean, I do charity volunteering, but I'm not paid for that. You know, there's several things I do, really, but, like I was saying to people, what I actually want to do is I want to, you know, I don't want to have any of this bullshit e-drama. I know some people might not believe me when they say that, but that's what I'm saying to people now. If anybody's been blocked, I'm just going to unblock them, because I've definitely acted irrationally in the past. And I think sometimes it's a bit of a feedback loop. No, you're not blocked, because I can read your comment. You know, where, like, people say things about me, I'll get upset, I'll escalate it, you know, and it's just a vicious circle, isn't it? No, sadly I don't accept gifts from people on here, just because if I don't know people very well, I don't really want to risk, you know, people selling me stuff. No, Peach, you're not blocked and you're a mod. Maybe some of your comments aren't showing up, Matthew. I can read this one. Most helmets go over the GP5. I'm not crying, mate. But most helmets go fine with the GP5. Because the GP5 is a helmet-style mask, it goes on your head fine. Right, thank you, Alex. Right, a gas mask is not going to work in the sense of it's not going to protect you from being melted by a fireball, or being ripped apart by like 600 mile/hour winds from a nuclear blast. No, Matt, you're not blocked. But it will protect you from inhaling alpha radiation in terms of like fallout dust. Yeah, Mike, if you keep copy and pasting that comment every now and again in the chat, that might be quite useful. I volunteer for the Blue Cross, which is a UK animal charity for horses, dogs, cats, you know, like hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, pretty much all sorts. Not things like lizards or anything like that, but basically it's if there's abused animals or like homeless animals or animals people have to get rid of because they're like moving house, they can't look after it anymore. It's a charity that basically puts them in quite good living conditions until somebody who's suitable to readopt them can have them. I like baguettes, to be honest. That surprises me. Is that because of the visor that comes down, or is it just the shape of the helmet shots on me? Well, my actual job, as I said at the weekends, other than just doing YouTube stuff and any money I get from YouTube and donations and whatever, is just working in a garden centre as a kitchen porter, because it's very close to where I live. So that's the good thing, is it literally means, you know, a 20-minute walk or a 5-minute drive I can get there. Which means, you know, I'm like not spending any money on commuting to work, basically. Yeah, I'll do that. Just a second, Richard, let me find them and I'll unblock them. Alright, there's loads of people on here called Chris, so hang on a second. Chris, is it got the hyphen in it? Let me just do that. Right. Chris, Gasmaster Militaria. Right, you're unblocked. There you go. As I said, what I might do actually soon is go through a massive list of these and just start unblocking everybody except the people I know are being deliberately dickheads to people. They're quite cool, but I've never had any of them text on. The original's an Acme mask, isn't it, I think? Is it like called something like the Acme Clear Vision? I'm pretty sure it's an Acme industrial mask, but I can't remember the exact name. I don't live in Wiltshire, and I never lived in Wiltshire. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? But there is the thing, what was I going to say? With beta though, not all masks will stop it, because I don't think this video's gone live yet, but I got my Geiger counter, I put it on the inside of various masks and materials, and I put the Fiesta wear on the outside. That doesn't emit gamma, it just emits beta radiation, I think alpha, but my Geiger I don't think can read alpha. But anyway, some of the masks reduced it by quite a lot, some almost did nothing at all. And one of the interesting things I found is older masks with glass eyepieces actually block a lot more of the beta radiation from getting through than the newer ones are polycarbonate lenses. No, sadly I don't have any Korean gas masks. Right, see you, Creepine. I normally don't army aloof, but because I work at weekends, I definitely don't stream Saturday. Sunday, because I'm not working tomorrow. If I've got enough energy in the evening, I do like to stream. But it's, again, if I've got the energy, because sometimes if you have a really hard day at work, I just want to have a sleep, to be honest, when I get in. Yeah, let me look for that. I didn't think I blocked him, but... because he comments on your streams, doesn't he, Mike? But if he's on there... he's on there. I'm not sure if it's him, but there's one that I think may have been him, Mike, so ask him to come on and see if he can comment now. Yeah, the Wiltshire County Council one. Yeah, the War Emergency Guidebook. I've still got that. I did a video on it quite recently. I don't know what North Korea uses. I guess either Chinese or Soviet surplus. Okay, yeah, I will look for your comment, Matthew. If you can't get the comment to show up on here for whatever reason, go to Weapon Collector's thing, post it there, and then he can relay it to me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, alpha radiation is probably the most scary in terms of what it does to you and how quickly it does it to you once it gets in. But yeah, obviously, limit your exposure to radiation as much as possible. Devil Dog, let me have a look for you. Right, you've got a JC Denton picture. I tell you why I might have blocked you, actually. It might be it probably is nothing personal. But with what happened at one point is loads and loads and loads and loads of channels were changing their pictures to that JC Denton picture. And I later found out it was because it was like some big YouTuber said change your picture to JC Denton. But because it happened at that point, I thought there was like one particular person that was spamming the channel, you know, that kept using that image. Fast Flight, let me have a look for that, Mike. Right, found you if that is you. Unblocked. There you go. Tell you what I might do as well is I might go through every person on the unblock list I can see of a JC Denton picture and just unblock them. Just because I probably only had one person being a dickhead with that, and then I thought it was the same person over and over. Comrade Who, okay. Let's find him and reinstate him. We're getting quite a lot of responses, this is good. So as long as people are polite enough, you know, they can critique me as all they want, as long as they're polite. You know, as I said, the problem is sometimes I just take things the wrong way, and it's, you know, I think it's more of a stress thing from YouTube, to be honest. Well, I'm a fanboy of Avon masks, so British ones, but Britain doesn't use it, although I think they're going back to Avon now after the Scott GSR. What do you mean with the blocking or the unblocking thing? As I said, I'm unblocking a lot of people because I probably have in the past blocked people for silly reasons. You know, just because I've lost my temper with people, to be honest. And, you know, I did have a good comment the other day where somebody was saying that, you know, I can create too much of, like, a feedback loop where if the only people on here are people who love my stuff too much, then I'm not going to get any good criticism, which is probably a very valid point, I think. So what I'm doing now is because I don't want to be, you know, really petty and arguing with people, because I really don't like doing that, to be honest, but I keep getting drawn into it sometimes. You know, anybody that wants to be unblocked that I may have blocked, as long as they're going to be civil and I can be civil with them, sure, I will unblock you. It's real but deactivated. Hillstad. I'm sure I've heard of that channel, Textorm, but I don't think I've watched it. Is that like a British military style channel? Well, it's quite possible, because Martini Henrys turn up in loads of places. The RPK's down there. I'm not getting it out for this stream, because this is a feedback stream. Well, if you've looked at some of my videos, Conrad, I do. That's why there's a whole stuff in my username, because weirdly enough, originally, I think my very first video on this channel might have been an air rifle shooting one of very low quality. It's just I collect a lot of gas masks because they're quite cheap to collect as military and surplus, and I find them really interesting. However, like I said, it's not the only thing I collect, and I think sometimes some people might get a bit annoyed with my channel because they think I'm all about gas masks. They come on here, see me doing a few videos that aren't related to gas masks, and they say, oh, you're betraying your fan base. Where I'm not really trying to do that, but I can actually understand where the frustration comes from. Matt, let me have a look for him, Mike. Is there like an underscore or anything in that? Because his name's not actually coming up. on the block list. So whether or not YouTube somehow shadow banned him, let me just search for Matt, and I'll go from the beginning. And see if anything comes up like that. Right, and 15 of 27 people have Matt in their name. And I've not found that one so far. I've looked through all of them and I'm afraid that one's not on there. So I can't... Yeah, I'm afraid that one, Matt, if you're on there, you're not actually blocked. You're at least not on that list. Because I've just controlled F and I've gone through 27 Matts and Matt Summerland isn't one of them. That's cool, Mist. Any Army Aloof, things you don't like, things you do like. I really don't know, Fast Flight. Like I said, it could be for something silly. I swear, though, I have now and again had people that I chat with a lot who have just randomly turned up on the block list, and I don't know if I've misclicked something there, or YouTube somehow sneakily does it. I mean, a lot of the time it will be me. But, you know, I do have other comment moderators, so I think, like, Weapon Collector or whoever, not saying he obviously did it, could have blocked you. You know, it's like that kind of thing where if he saw a comment and he thought you were being offensive to somebody, he might have blocked it. You know, I can't say, I was going to say, as I'm just going to keep reinstating people now. You know, unless I have good cause to block somebody again. Yeah, you can blame me if you want to. Matt's old account, is that the actual name of it? Matt's old account, yeah, that one's on there, so I can unblock that one. There we go. Done. Welcome back. It's just people I've known on here for ages, Comrade Who. Like Weapon Collector I've chatted with for literally years on here. We, like, moderate each other's streams. We've got quite similar interests. We both know where each other lives in real life, you know, so... Peach and Richard are just people that Mike and I chat with quite a lot on other streams, so... I've probably got enough moderators now, to be perfectly honest. I don't... Because the problem is, like I said, I don't want too many, just in case... You know, that leads to the problem of too many people getting blocked because moderators don't like people's opinions. Not just for gas masks. I cut my hair because I like it short, because when it gets to this length it gets annoying. Simply because if I lay down for too long my hair will stick up awkwardly. Also my scalp is healthier when my hair's shaved short, as in it doesn't get as greasy or whatever like that. I'm probably going to cut it again during this week. I don't know which day yet, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. But one night this week, if I get time, I'll probably shave all my hair off again. Streams happen. Let me have a look for it, Mixer. Let's see, can I find it? Right, I can't find that exact name. No, there's only one person with stream in their name on Blocklist, and it's nowhere near like that name, so... Yeah, exactly, Chris. That's what I'm saying. Part of the problem is that, like I've said, there is a lot of times where like I said, I think it's like a negative feedback cycle where I could have been, you know, somebody could have left a slightly nasty comment, maybe not even meaning much by it because they were in a bad mood. You know, I was in a bad mood, so I blocked them, you know, rather than chatting with them and talking it out or just ignoring it or whatever. And then it creates a bit of a cycle where people become a bit too militarised, and I really don't want that. Because as I said, I'd like to get on with people, I really would. And, you know, I think a lot of people do have valid complaints, but sadly it does become a bit of an echo chamber in here. And I think some of the other, you know, things can become an echo chamber as well, where if too many people get a similar opinion, you don't get a good, you know, diverse opinion, so that can be the problem. The Devil Dog 65, I can see if I thought I took that one off the list, didn't I, for you? Yeah, I've already taken that one off the list for you. That's just the arming sword. It's the handway one. I think they call it an early medieval sword, but it's technically an arming sword. It was on my recent one. Pandemic Express, is that a name of a channel? when this video is finished, if anybody wants to leave a comment of the name of channels, it might be easier for me to do it that way. Obviously, I'm going to try and do as many as I can during the live stream. The size of the filter does matter, as in bigger filters will probably last longer because you've got more filter medium in them. Okay. I've got a Chinese M65 on order. Yeah, same. I'm going to apologise. I tell you what, mate, I will delete that stream now because, like I said, I've been immature. You were probably a bit immature. Let's get over it. You know what I mean? It's a better way of doing it, isn't it? Because that's the thing is. Like I said, it's very easy, I think, just to jump on bandwagons, isn't it? And, like I said, I'd rather just not get into that. I just don't want to get into e-drama whatsoever. Does anybody remember what that stream was called? Oh, I found it. Right, I will delete it for you now, Hype, and I will reinstate you. You don't need to pledge me any money on Patreon. I will completely reinstate you to the server later on. I'll sort that out for you. I've still got no interest at the moment in going on that Discord server, but I might do it at a later point. I'll probably try and go on our gas masks at some point and ask people to give me a very honest but polite feedback when on there where they can complain about anything they want and I can try and address their complaints. Yeah, and I said I'll apologise to you, Chris. Like, the thing is, there's lots of things, aren't there? This is the thing where I think it's too easy to get wound up on stuff. And I feel a lot better for doing this, to be honest, because like I said, it's very easy to get into a circle, isn't it, where you can keep wanting to escalate things. I've had that with, like, friends in real life, where you have a minor disagreement over stuff. Each of you thinks, you know, each of you hates each other more than you actually do. And then you're really relieved when you sort it all out. I used to go on our Discord, not our Discord, sorry, our gas mask quite a lot. And then I didn't for quite a while, just because I got annoyed with the amount of GP5 memes. And I think at one point, that was when I annoyed a lot of people on there because I said, oh, I don't particularly like it because there's lots of GP5 memes. And as I said, because I can be quite divisive on a lot of these communities, I tend not to go on them in case I inflame tensions. But I would like to make a post now at some point. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'll do it and say, you know, please, just as long as you're polite, say what you don't like, see if I can fix it, see if we can come to some common ground. Sir Roofington, I've not banned again. Is any... What? Let me refresh the block list and check, because I've not blocked anybody on this stream at all. You've not done that, Peach, have you, as a joke? I hope not. Right, let me refresh this page as soon as it's refreshed. No, you're not on the block list, so I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's not worked correctly because I've only recently unblocked you. I don't know. What do you mean PFP? Profile picture? Oh, it's a British light anti-gas respirator Mark 1. That's interesting. Right, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just a bit of a glitch. Sometimes. Alright, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is that Norwegian krona? I don't actually know. Norwegian, is it? NOK currency. But thank you very much. If you've got questions, ask them. Oh, it is Norwegian krona. Excellent. Alright, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. I do appreciate that. No, the British Mickey Mouse mask won't fit me, and the straps are quite old, and I don't want to make it rip. That's the thing. You know. What gas mask called Hornet will be. Yeah, I can see your comment now. Actually, there's somebody I definitely want to unblock if he's still got the same username, because he was somebody who used to comment loads. Oh, sadly, his name's not actually on there anymore. So maybe he changed his name, so I can't... That's annoying. I can't reinstate him. But there was this Romanian guy that used to comment a lot, and then I think he annoyed a load of people on a load of comments. You know, he was one of those people that kept bringing up subjects I asked him not to, so I eventually blocked him. But that was a shame. Alright, thank you very much. Oh, that's very nice of you, mate. Right, I need to definitely put you on to the Discord thing again. But yeah, I do really appreciate that. But as I said, I really just don't want to argue with people. Because, you know. It's, like I said, it's just, like I said, it's petty, isn't it? To be honest, to have things with people, but... I've got the actual radio microphone for the S10, but I can see your comments, Matt, as I said. Yeah, because like I said, Chris, this is the thing. You're still on the Discord, aren't you, Chris? If you're not, let me know what your account is and I'll reinstate it. Because like I said, I don't think I've kicked many people off the Discord at all. It's generally just on YouTube, because it's just, there's like a button right next to somebody's thing where, you know, you can block them on that. So as I said, if I'm in a bad mood. Because a lot of the time, like I said, the problem is, if I'm in a day where I'm in a really good mood, somebody could make a joke comment, I could read it, and I can go, you know, that's actually quite funny. You're not... I can see your comments, Sir Roofington. I don't think you're blocked. Nobody has been blocked this stream. I've been unblocking people. It says, like, user account has been hidden if you see stuff like that. An S10, right. It depends where you buy them from. On eBay, they can be all over the place. £30 to £60 sort of price. Depends on if it's a buy it now. You know, it's a bid, whatever. I generally always try and get gas masks on a bid. What was I going to say? Because, you know, you can bid near the end of the thing, and if not many people have put bid on it, you get the mask cheaper. However, there are some sites, somebody pointed this out, I think his name was Jesus, funnily enough, because like I said, Jesus saves you money, where he found some surplus sites that weren't eBay in the UK that had S10s for like £30. Oh, the Grasshopper or the XM28 is, the Grasshopper, or I think it's sometimes called the Locust, but yeah, that's the XM28 E4, the prototype cheap filter mask. No, that's a normal size katana. It might look smaller just simply because you can't see all the handle, and the scale of it might look a bit off with the gas masks on it. Yeah, don't matter. No, that's cool, mate. This is completely fine for now. I'd feel wrong accepting a gift. And I don't want to set up a PO box, as said. It's just I get a bit paranoid about stuff like that, but as I said, I do very much appreciate it, because like I said, I can be really petty at times, and I don't want to start arguments with people, because I think a lot of this is under misunderstandings, isn't it, and all. Shit, I feel really good for doing this stream, to be honest, because I was a bit worried, you know, I do this stream, I start unblocking people, and then I just get loads of abuse, but it's actually completely opposite, which is what I hope for, but... Your comment's not showing up then, Matt. No, it's just my bedroom. Sadly, my house is not big enough as a gas mask room. You know, that's why my masks are stored anyway. The thing is, in England, houses are pretty small. I don't know if there's new masks for that. I know there's more than just the SR1. Yeah, the thing is, surplus stores can be all over the place, because when I have my local surplus store, things like GP5s without the bag, like, you know, just literally GP5 and a green filter, were £20, but then Belgian BEM 4GPs were £30, so it didn't make much sense, you know. Like, cheap masks are overpriced, and masks that are normally, you know, like £30 plus, were at the bottom end of the price range you expect, so it's really strange. No, the XM28 has much smaller filters, I'm pretty sure, because there are only particulate filters in the XM28. I don't know if they had a riot in World War 1 or 2 because they didn't have any wine, I really don't know. Maybe consult a history thing on that. I would guess, Rob, over 100. But again, the problem is I used to have like a file where I used to, you know, keep them, and then Windows 10 dirt my PC and I had to roll back to Windows 7 and I didn't back that file up. Yeah, $5 for a GP5, that's brilliant. I'd get a load for that. Because UK police sell all their stuff as surplus to make money because of how underfunded they are. So basically, the UK police, armed police, they won't sell you their guns, but they'll sell you their body armour, their helmets. I think they even sell their cars as surplus, riot shields, all of that stuff. They literally sell as surplus to get money back. Same with the army. The MOD sells a lot of stuff. So my riot shield's pretty fire damaged. In one of the recent videos that will come up soon, you'll see a chunk of the riot shield come off where Richard's billhook took a chunk of it off. But they are pretty good stuff. Yeah, make sure I definitely reinstate you, Hype. I just need to remember to do it. And Chris, do you know if you're on there still or not? Because I need to sort that out. But if anybody needs me to sort stuff like that out, just seriously leave a comment on another video and I'll get back to you on that. I've not got a PMK2, so I can't comment. I'm not a big fan of the PMK1 for reasons I've stated. I think PMKs look cool, it's just they're very uncomfortable for me to wear. But I heard the PMK2 is a lot better than PMK1, but I can't comment as I don't have one. Oh, thank you, British Modeler. I appreciate that. Real but deactivated, as said, meaning they can never fire again. Basically, what they've done is they've welded bits in them, cut bits down. You know, the amount of effort you'd have to go to reactivate one of those, you'd be doing more work than making a zip gun, basically. Not that I want to discuss illegal stuff like that, because I'm in, you know, police state of Britain. But, you know. What I want to do with the riot shield is I don't actually want to fix it. What I want to do is basically get the chunk that's broken off and use that with crossbow tests, because I don't want to shoot a crossbow through my full-size riot shield and put holes in it. But what I would like to do at some point is get the bit of the crossbow that's broken off, not bit of the crossbow that's broken off, sorry, bit of the riot shield that's broken off, and then do tests on that, because that's what I'm interested in. Alright, yeah. Oh, so Chris, you were the one that was saying you should get me banned for terrorism, right? Alright, if you're not going to do that, not going to try and do that, you'll be totally okay. That's the reason I blocked you, was because I had a screen cap of you saying that on another thing, because Liam insulted Hype, therefore we should get him banned. But if you're completely not going to do that, you're allowed on. And as said, I think everything just escalated silly, didn't it? And we don't want any drama. This is much better this way. Yeah, I might be missing them. If anybody sees the question he asked, can you just copy and paste it back in? No, I've never been to army disposal yard. Normally polycarbonate, Alex. So it's like very thick, strong plastic. You know what? A lot of modern gas mask visors are made out of polycarbonate. That same stuff. So it's like ½ an inch thick polycarbonate. Yeah, I've played quite a lot of the Call of Duties. Yeah, was it like one of the aluminium shield shots on me? I think you can buy Chinese riot shields that are aluminium. I think the only problem with those compared to polycarbonate is they can bend and like snap more easily, because polycarbonate, there's videos where people run those over with tanks. I sometimes get tired of questions, but as I said, I should be a bit more welcoming, shouldn't I? Because a lot of the time, should buy Polish copy of the OZK called Op1. They're quite cheap on eBay. Let's have a look. So Op1, is that an NBC suit? Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the one that's like the gown, isn't it? I will get one of those at some point. So let me go on eBay and just see if I can. So the Soviet one is like 50 quid, so I'm not going to pay that. But you said the Polish one, Polish Op1 suit. Problem is the one. Oh yeah, there is one coming up on the picture. The only problem is I'm looking at the pictures and some of them aren't the same suit. Like, in the pictures, some of them have got the gown on, some of them haven't, and I wouldn't want to buy it and not get the one with the gown. So, is it like multiple parts or what? That's the only thing I'm wondering about. What, a German gas mask, you mean when you say Hun or Hungarian? Yeah, apparently, Fico, they're not, according to whoever it was earlier. Was it Shot Zombie? But they work with most helmets, but there's probably just some helmets you can't wear a gas mask with, just due to the design of the helmet. Well, the A2 fixed most of the problems the A1 had, as in the A2 is actually a usable rifle. But one of the old Yugoslavian or Russian helmets, I guess, to go over GP5, because that at least looks fitting. But didn't the UK win in Burma? I'll have to actually look up the Burmese war, but... Allied victory, dissolution of the state of Burma. So I guess you probably not as much like Vietnam, because Britain actually won it, but... I don't think it's going to work too well with long hair. But you could try it. There's probably no harm in trying it, they're cheap enough. Yeah, you might as well, Richard. Like we'll say, we'll forget about the whole thing ever happened. I've apologised, Hype's apologised. You know. He obviously did it as a joke, that's the thing, and I just didn't take it very well. That's all it was, I think. Most helmets will look good with a GP5. I really don't know. I've never seen a good answer to why some GP5s are black, some GP5s are white, because I've heard things like some are export models, because that's like a GP5M or PMG2 in black there. I've heard some are export models, some are like to designate it as a military model, some were to indicate rank and all things like that, but every time I've looked stuff like that up, there never seems to be a correlation, you know. Right, cheers, Richard. No, because everything's legal, Sir Roofington. Everything I have is completely UK legal. I wouldn't have anything that was really dodgy, you know, in the law. Because there are quite a few grey areas in the law, but I don't have anything like that. You know, because I don't have any need for it, to be honest. I like collecting stuff, and as much as I don't agree with a lot of the laws, I'm still going to follow them, you know what I mean? Alright, cool. Because that's the thing, is you can't tell, can you, Chris? This is the problem. When you have something like that, you know, you literally cannot tell if somebody is joking or they're being serious. And that's the point. Part of the problem, I think, this is the reason I end up blocking so many people, is there's no sarcasm. You can't read sarcasm in a comment. I really don't check my Instagram, that's the problem. I found one, but it's got a picture of the gown and that, so, how'd you like it, Alex? But yeah, I think one of the big problems is, because you can't, you know, read sarcasm into comments, you can't tell when something's done as a joke in a fun way, like a bit of banter, or it's actually malicious. I think, you know, like we said, both sides escalate things, and it's just silly, because I want to get on with everybody. And like I said, I'd really like good constructive feedback from things people don't like about my channel or whatever, but I don't want, you know, two sides of echo chambers where your videos are shit, or your videos are the best videos ever. Let's find some common ground. Yeah, it might be a good idea to put joke at the end if somebody does say something a bit edgy, you know. Yeah, because like I said, the problem is, right, with YouTube comments or any comments, is you can't tell tone of voice or anything. And as I said, I'm autistic. I literally can't tell quite a lot of the time. Jokes, figures of speech, things like that. And that's funny enough and not funny to people at work a lot of the time when I fuck stuff up horribly because somebody tells me to do something and I do it literally as instructed. So, you know. Oh, nothing happened last night as such. It's just that, you know, like, as said, there's been a lot of e-drama recently, and I really hate e-drama kind of stuff, and it seems everybody really wants to be reasonable deep down. It's just, it escalated horribly, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be a miserable person that thinks I'm brilliant and, you know, doesn't want to listen to any criticism, and I'm sure lots of other people don't want to, you know. Alright, cool, let me have a look. Do you actually just put the item thing after... Oh yeah, cool. I've got the previous one of that. Oh, but it's £30 postage. So what they're doing is they're charging loads on the postage, but then, yeah, that's a shame. That's cool. Yeah, so I assume they're just making most of their money from postage, not the initial price, but I always hate that. That's one of the problems I have with buying a lot of stuff from Russia, is that, what was I going to say? You know, where you get the sellers that charge you, like, the item's price again on postage. Right, shall I do that to cheer everybody up? Although, oh, it's actually a good stream. It's cheered me properly up. Actually, is the PBF in this room? Because if it's not, I can't get it out. Where have I put it? I literally don't know where I've put it, man. It's probably not in this room. No, sadly, I don't think it's in this room at the moment. Otherwise, I would put it on. I'll find it for next time I do a stream. But I've probably, because I don't have enough room to store a lot of the masks. They have to hang up anywhere, go on shelves anywhere, whatever. That's very cool, Matt. Yeah, most masks can stop tear gas because you only need a particulate filter for tear gas. The thing is, I don't know of tear gas, though, is, what was I going to say? Because they sometimes use things like methylene chloride to dissolve tear gas to spread it more easily, I don't know if that would still affect you if you only had a particle filter. That's why it's probably better just to go for a military-style NBC, you know, combined filter. It's British police armour with a French riot armour thing on top of it. Isn't it mostly like the exhale valve part of it that's different, and it doesn't have the Tissot tubes, does it, in the oldest one? Because I think it was like the later generation, like the Shum 41, wasn't it, where the Tissot tube system was added? Depends what you mean by most expensive. Like, I've got the XM28E4, which is the one I probably paid the most for. I paid nearly £100 for that because it's an American mask, so very hard to get in the UK. So I ended up, you know, just bidding more than I should have done on that, but I love that mask. But I've got two British C7 masks, which are those weird civil defence masks from the 1950s, where Britain decided to make, you know, like, improved World War II civil defence style masks, civilian respirators, then realised, oh shit, everybody's going to die in a nuclear war anyway. So they didn't, you know, carry on with them. Yeah, I think they've knocked a bit more of that down, sadly, but I might try and go back there on a video. That would be a really cool place to go around with my night vision for what's left of there. But yeah, they have been, because obviously the land here is so expensive, they do try and reclaim, like, you know, urban stuff quite quickly. Because there used to be, not too far from where I live, like a massive grain silo. If you've played Red Orchestra 2, you know the grain elevator map, whatever it's called, it was one like that. you know, it was a giant, you know, like 10-story grain silo thing, and you could, you know, get in there fairly easily to explore it. And sadly, I never did. A lot of my friends did, although it was very dangerous, you know, like asbestos everywhere, broken glass everywhere, rusty bits of metal everywhere, you know, massive drops, you could fall down and kill yourself. So it was a very dangerous old building to explore. But sadly, I never went in there, and now it's actually closed. Oh, that's very interesting, Matt. I might get one of those then. Good riot armour. Well, if you want on a real budget, you probably shouldn't go for riot armour. What you should actually go for is lots of, like, sports armour. But that French riot armour is pretty cheap, but it only covers your arms. It doesn't cover your legs or anything, and you need to wear it with Kevlar body armour to get the body protection. Yeah, I've still got it. It's turned back round the right way now, Mixer, but I can turn it back inside out again. Yeah, it's real. It's Wiltshire, not Wiltshire, but yeah. It's real. It's, because as I said, my uncle got it because he's a painter and decorator, and it was the guy's parents who were on the emergency council, and now obviously the Cold War ended, all that stuff got disbanded, all the funding for it got completely cut. He had that book laying around in his attic, and he said, well, if your nephew is really into the Cold War stuff, let him have it, you know. Yeah, I might get one at some point. I'd rather buy one of those from a market, those Shot Zombie, because I don't really want to order that from eBay in case I go on some sort of UK verboten list of, you know, people. I like that old US urban one. I'm not sure what its real name is. Oh yeah, that's a very good point, Rob's Motos. Yeah, motorcycle armour is brilliant for that. It's literally what a lot of riot armour essentially is, you know, just padded crash clothing, basically. But you know the old, I think it was US, like the urban one that's literally like US Woodland but in grey and white. I imagine even something like, what's it called, what's the name of it? I can't think of the bloody name now. The US camo nobody likes, UCP, Universal Camouflage Pattern. I imagine that would actually be pretty good as an urban camo. You know, it wouldn't, or snowy camo. It wasn't good as an all-round camo, like a multi-terrain camo like they intended it for. But for urban, it would probably be fine. Nah, Marpat's the good one. Marpat is the one that's like, sort of a woodland colour scheme. Like a dark woodland colour scheme, just in a pixel pattern. UCP is kind of like that same pattern, but just in shades of grey. And it's not even 50 shades of grey. Yeah, that's it. Urban Tea Camo, if that's what it's called. I'll have to look up that camo, Matt, because I don't know it. Oh, or did you spell it wrong? Right, let me find that name, Mike, and I'll unblock it. So, Shizuka, right, let me find that. Yeah. Are you actually in Hong Kong then, Hype? Because I don't actually, because I know obviously Britain gave Hong Kong back to China, but is it still semi-autonomous, or is like the Chinese government kind of imposed itself on that? Obviously, if you're going to endanger yourself by saying anything, do not say anything about that. But I find that pretty fascinating, because they have protests there, don't they, about like freedom of speech and all stuff like that. Even though the UK isn't a good bastion of freedom of speech anymore, which is, you know, the funny thing. Yeah, I've got the brightness quite high on my PC screen just because it makes it easy to use. But what I'm trying to do more often now, and it is actually helping me sleep better at night, funnily enough, is to make sure I keep the room light on a lot more when I'm using the PC. Obviously, when I've got streams on, I have the room light on, but a lot of the time when I'm playing video games, I have all the lights off, so I can just use the screen a bit like a cinema. But I've realised if I have the room lights on, and, you know, I go to bed at the same time, I actually feel more tired, because I guess there's less blue light, or it's tricking a brainless. It's just literally called French Riot Armour. I don't know if it's got a proper name. I might have the manual for it in one of my drawers somewhere. That sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? In my drawers. Have a rummage in my drawers for the armour for the French manual. Sadly, I can't remember which drawer it is, but it's like Jardemain one, or whatever it's called. The Jardemain? Yeah, because the thing is, Marpat, as I said, is in a good colour pattern. That's the thing a lot of the time with camos. As long as the colour pattern's good, the camo's going to be pretty good. But yeah, UCP is basically Imagine Marpat just in shades of grey, which would be fine for urban stuff or quarries or stuff like that. But the problem was the US Army was issued it for like everywhere. So there's lots of pictures of them in very like yellow sandy deserts with this bright grey camo on, where they kind of just glow in the dark. One Gabe is an L1A1 SLR, that's that one, the British version of the FN FAL. That one is a Lee Enfield. It's the number 1 Mark III. Okay, you're right, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I mean, I really don't know how that sort of affects stuff, but yeah. Hopefully it works out well for everybody. But I think I found him and unblocked him. Yeah, let me just search it again. I'm pretty sure I did, but that page is frozen now. Yeah, the name's not coming up at all now, so I'm pretty sure he's unbanned. Yeah, you can get a shout out, Gabe. There you go. It's a shame you're not Gabe Newell, because then I'd ask you when you're finally going to release Half-Life 3, because we're a bit annoyed that you never released that, or Half-Life Episode 3. Right. Yeah, in theory, styrofoam or polystyrene can damage masks, but it's not damaged any of the ones I've put on there. I think glass heads are probably the best thing. There's like different types of glass and plastic ones, but sadly I've never really seen those for sale. So basically it's like you get some of the benefits of China in Hong Kong, but without all the drawbacks. And hopefully you won't, but yeah, sounds like it's alright at the moment. I mean, yeah, the UK isn't a very good place for a lot of things anymore, especially in terms of infrastructure funding. Potholes look like the roads have been bombed every day. Amoeba, do you mean the Russian World War II Amoeba camo? That's very cool. That was meant to be a very effective camo because of how big the splodge pattern was on it. You know, from a distance, you'd be very hard to see with Amoeba on, especially because apparently the clothes are baggy as well. One of the things with camo is really tight-fitting uniforms in camo are not as good as baggy clothes in camo, because when it's baggy, it's harder to see the human silhouette. Therefore, you know, it's more effective. Yeah, I'll do more camo tests. The thing is, when I do camo tests, I have to get one of my mates to go out and help me. I tell you what, though, because I helped my friend walk the dogs, because I did a video recently with his dogs. Well, I've done two. One where we got his dogs to try and find me, and another one where we were just filming the dogs having fun. I imagine a lot of people would have probably gone, oh no, he's really run out of ideas, he's filming a video of dogs, but I just like dogs, to be honest. But, what I might be able to do is, one of the days I help him walk the dogs, I might be able to wear full camo of a certain type and just keep wandering off and get him to take some pictures, you know. The problem is, we'll have to try and keep the dogs from just running in and out of frame if we're doing that, for a camo test for the dogs. But it might be possible to just easily adapt it into doing one of those. Yeah, what I'll definitely say is, the spear behind me, that's a training spear. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it from there, but it's got a blunt tip on it. It's the one I used in the sparring video. Although I need to shave more of the pole down to get the spear to fit properly, because it's not glued on. It doesn't, if you're sparring with it a bit, when we were doing it with the bokken that the riot armor's holding, if you hit the bokken against the spearhead, you could launch the spearhead off, which obviously wouldn't happen with a normal spear. I've also got a normal spear, which I showed in the Mordhau video I did the other day. Sadly, we haven't got camo suits for the dogs. What I'm just saying is, because I'm probably helping him walk the dogs Tuesday as well this week. Yeah, I think, was it you asked me about an ROC post the other day, or was it somebody else? You mean the old, like, very small nuclear bunkers, the ones on airfields? There's one I've seen on an airfield, but sadly you couldn't go in it because they, like, concrete over it, because I think either people going in there to shoot up drugs, or, like, kids were going in there and they were worried about kids hurting themselves or something. But I do know what you mean. You can buy those, but some of them are really expensive, aren't they? They're like 500 grand for like a 2 tiny room bunker. What do you mean, what gaps masks? Do you mean what masks are there? Bulgarian PG1, I'm hanging it from the neck strap, not its actual strap, because I don't want to damage the straps on that one. The PDFB I modified to take a full-size hose. Sieb Gorman VistaVision, but that's supported by the Lee Enfield. It's not on its straps, because I wouldn't hang that from its straps, because it's an old, sort of more valuable mask. GP7. PDF missing a hose. That one was with a plastic exhale valve. An M65. That's hanging from the end of the rifle. That's a Chinese one. I can never remember the name of it. Is it the M59? It's the version they've put the adapter on for 40mm rather than using a hose. It's like the Chinese version of a Soviet MM1. It's very similar. It's one of those masks that looks funny, but it's surprisingly good. And a GP5M in black, or PMG2, whichever you want to call it. Most of the masks I hang up are obviously not valuable masks, or they're masks that are already damaged, because I know you should not hang masks by their straps. It's just I sometimes choose to do it because it looks cool for a background, and I've just run out of space. So, you know, the masks I don't care about so much can hang by their straps. The masks I do care about sit in the proper satchels away from sunlight. Just search dog on my channel, Mist, and you'll probably find it. There's one called Happy Spaniels, which is just the dogs having fun, and there's one called Hunted by Dogs. That's a still from a video, I imagine, TechStorm. It's the one where I wandered around in the garden with the NBC suit on and the RPK. There's also one where I do it with the FN FOW in the background and the British Mark III suit with the Essex gas mask. Okay, thank you, Hype. Yeah, that's exactly what it is then. Type 64A. Because I've noticed there's some versions of that with a different exhale valve. Is that what the A specifies? Because that one has like a bit more like the Finnish M61 V3's exhale valve, where it's like the plastic, you know, voice diaphragm and the exhale valve underneath. And there's some which just have like the circular kind of one, like the this one has. And that Type 69 I've got looks like the PMG, where you unscrew that, and you've got that. I really like this system, where you've got the kind of rubber drum disc in the middle and that one. Right, I'll go on this stream for about another 10 minutes. I've really enjoyed this. This has been really good. Thanks, everybody. And as I said, I'll make sure we're on Discord in a minute. What I'll do is I'll invite everybody. I'll probably just delete old chat records, because there's probably people bitching and moaning on there. And as I said, I just want to heal things now. I don't want to upset people. I don't think I was moaning too much, but I think a lot of people on the Discord were going, yeah, like, fuck those cunts, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I'll just delete all the old chat records, and I'll tell everybody to be nice to each other. And I would like to, as I said, get a lot more involved in a lot of the gas mask community stuff again, if people, you know, we can be civil to each other. Because I think a lot of it is because I didn't join these groups, people think I was being quite elitist, and then that annoyed me, and it just spirals out of control, doesn't it? Is that the M69, Rob's Motos? If it's the M69, that is a very good mask, actually. Unfortunately, mine's slightly too small, but I think it is a bloody good mask. It's like a PMG, but better. Yeah, some GP5s come with a hose, and it's not a full-size coffee can, but like a mini coffee can. Ah, okay, that's very interesting, Hype. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I probably prefer it with this, because it's a bit more compact, isn't it, than that one, but, yeah, both are cool. But yeah, at one point they were turning up on UK eBay for like £10 a mask, and I think that's why I got asked to do a video on them originally. Because people were saying these masks look really weird, can you do a video on them? And then I was surprised how good it actually was. It was comfortable and it worked. It doesn't sound very good being launched into a war by an air cannon. Yeah, I was just very lucky, TechStorm, that one time it just randomly turned up on eBay for like £15 or something. I can't remember if I put a bid on it and nobody else bid, or if it was just one as a like buy it now, where some guy randomly had them for sale. Okay, yeah. I suppose if it's a plastic disc, it probably would be, wouldn't it? It's just, I prefer the more compact design. But again, there's like swings and roundabouts, as we say to all these things. You can improve the mask in one way and then have a drawback in another. But Yeah, but they've got a different name now, haven't they, than the GP5s? There is that cool modern Russian mask called, like, is it the SHM or SHM 2012 or something it's called? Which is like a GP5, but with PMK eyepieces and the PMK's voice diaphragm. Can you screw them all into each other, Shot Zombie? Because I've only got one, sadly, I can't screw them into each other. But I do like that you can just make a chain of them. I think Jacob Dagger did a video like that, though, didn't he? Where he put like 10 of them on a GP5 and swung it from side to side, and it didn't rip the mask, which is pretty impressive. Sledge looks more like, is it the USM 45 mask? Yeah, I assume the FMJ08 uses that rather than like copying the S10 system. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because I suppose with a mask you want it to be more versatile. Because as much as the voice diaphragm is important, I would not want a mask where I was worried the voice diaphragm would rip. Because, you know, like the French one I've got, what's that called? The M51? That's got that like weird rubber exhale valve that works as a voice diaphragm. But mine's alright, but I've seen so many versions of that mask, you know, where like friends have bought them really cheap, where that's just fallen apart because it was obviously made in such a thin and shoddy way. Yep, I'm going to re-watch episode 1 of that tonight, actually, after the stream. But episode 1 I thought was really good. It's very bleak, isn't it? But that's what you want. 3.6 rock guns. And episode 2 is it tomorrow night? Is because I think in the UK you can technically see it Tuesday, but yeah, I like the Osprey carrier. Yeah, at least he doesn't wear the filter in Dead Man's Shoes. Because I always feel bad for actors, though. That's going to be one of the things, though, in HBO's Chernobyl. Are the actors going to be wearing all those Soviet masks with the filters? Because I know that's authentic, but I kind of worry when I watch old films and they're wearing, especially World War II masks, where they had shitloads of blue asbestos in the filter. Yeah, lots and lots of vomit. Hang on, let me get a picture for you. I don't know how many of the I quite like this one. Like I said, I have massive respect for the liquidators and everything who are actually in Chernobyl, because they basically saved most of Europe. But some of the memes are quite good from Chernobyl. The one I like is the steamed hams one, and then somebody did like an update to it. So you've got that bit to begin with, and then you've got this. Why is there steam? Why is there smoke coming out of your reactor? Oh, it is not steam, it is steam from the steam turbines. What's that? Aurora Borealis. That probably doesn't sound anything like a Russian accent or Ukrainian accent, but there you go. Yeah, so, how good is that helmet? Because I've heard very mixed things about that, because they got rid of the Mark 7 pretty quickly, didn't they? Yeah, exactly. It was. This is one of the things I've been saying about Chernobyl to people, not the TV show, I mean real Chernobyl, is as much as the fuck up initially happened, because it was, you know, like a Soviet cost-cutting thing, and then all the things where, you know, because of the tears of communism, nobody wanted to blame each other. The actual mobilization they did when they knew they had a massive problem on their hands, and the amount of people, you know, willing to sacrifice themselves and everything, you know, it was bloody lucky in a way it did happen in the Soviet Union in that sense. Because if we had something like that in Britain, they wouldn't be able to sort it out. People would be like, oh, I'm not getting involved with that. And the government would then hire a firm, wasting lots of taxpayers' money, to see if they could liquidate it. And then that firm would outsource it to somebody else, and that firm would fuck it up, and then we'd all be dead. So, I did read a very good book, and it's not a fiction book, it's a non-fiction book, but I can't tell you what it's called because it's so long ago I read it. And it was about an Israeli bloke who was, I think, a doctor, and he was called in with a load of American specialists to actually help in the hospitals, treating the radiation victims. You know, trying to save as many people as they could, because the Soviet Union at that point, under Gorbachev, did actually, you know, credit to him, they did actually try and get as many experts in from other countries to help with the problem, rather than pretending it didn't happen. Yeah. Because they were dumping the sand in, weren't they, to try and slow it down. And obviously all the divers and firemen and miners that had to go in to drill out the tunnels to extract all the water, before it had like the 5 megaton explosion if the elephant's foot basically hit the groundwater, and then obviously you'd have irradiated all the rivers. You'd have had basically a 4-reactor dirty bomb go off. Yeah. 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 So what ratings the Virtus? Is that a proper like Mark 3A Kevlar helmet or level 3A Kevlar helmet? Whereas the Mark 7 I think is not technically 3A standard, is it? Because the British Army never announced what it really was. You can have a shout out, Alex. I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce your surname. Is that Vanelstein? But yeah, like I said, I'll finish the stream. It's been an hour and a half. But thank you, everybody. This has been really good. It went a lot better than I expected, to be honest. But like I said, I don't want any drama stuff. I just want to get on with people, to be honest. But as I said, sometimes I just don't take jokes very well, and I can't tell when people are joking. And then I think people often think, you know... Yeah, thanks, Mike, and then I can catch up with it. Yeah, so it's the same. I always just like the US Pascot style helmets because they're like the Stahlhelm shaped ones, and I've got a British Commando police helmet, which is the British Armed Police Kevlar helmet, and that is literally a Pascot in 3A. You know, it's a brilliant helmet. It's got a very good liner. That's alright, King Camo, you can watch it again later. Well, only if it's exploded. If you go near the reactor of a fully functioning nuclear power station, everything's contained. Right, glad you enjoyed it, Hype. As I said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start getting people back on my Discord server, and at some point I'll go on the Gas Mask Reddit or whatever, and I'll say, look, I just want to get on with people, can, you know, please post any criticisms you have, and I'll try and talk them through rationally with people, you know. I'd much rather do that than having some sort of stupid internet e-war going on. And also, for anybody that enjoys my content, don't harass other people, please. I don't know if you have been or not, but, you know, it can go both ways, can't it? So I don't want people thinking they're doing me a favour by harassing other people because they don't enjoy my videos, you know. Or they've got problems with my content. Please don't do that, you know. Yeah, well, if I ever see some Blumenthal for sale shot zombie, I will do. And I might stream some Armour Free this week. I can't remember if you were asking about Armour Free, but I think Sophistry wasn't he? On the Discord. But I'm actually getting into Armour Free now, so I'll definitely stream some, because now I'm getting into it. Well, it seems to be very mixed, doesn't it, on there, Gabriel? Because I see it seems to be, like, arguments all the time on there. That's the thing. And, you know, like I said, I think a lot of it is... The thing is, my Discord King Camo is in the Patreon below. What I've been doing is anybody that gives me a donation, I'm doing it through the Super Chats now, they can have an invite. Because I've not really got any proper moderators on there, I don't want too many people on there to begin with, you know. But just because I don't want a big shit show on there. But anyway, yeah, thank you for the stream. So you were Hunbasher, were you? Russian Spetsnaz, whatever. Chris Spetsnaz, Russian. I can't remember your username. I like Armour 2 just because it's clunky, but it works very well. I've not played Sekiro, no. You can play Armour Free with me at some point, yeah, but I'm not going to be, Okay, I didn't know that Chernobylite actually had AAA quality. That was the thing, because when I'd seen things about Chernobylite, it looked very amateurish, but then I'd probably not looked into it properly. But yeah, I'll look into it at some point. Yeah, at some point I'll try and do an online game with people, but bear in mind I'm shit at most of them. So, yeah, Bart's back from New York, I think, tomorrow morning. So when he's back, he's going to do a few more designs, and we're going to hopefully get a few more of, like, the parody silly designs out. I might want an Avon fanboy one, to be honest. I think that would be funny, like moving that S10 on going like that, Avon fanboy. But yeah. Anyway, thank you. It's been a very good stream. I'm going to work on reinstating people. If you're, you know, if you think you're blocked and you're seeing this video later on, please just in the comments below put your name in and I'll unblock you. But what I might start doing soon is just going through the block list and just taking off everybody that looks like they might be a legit channel. Because as I have had spam bot kind of accounts on here. But yeah, thank you everybody. It's been a really good stream. So I'm going to sort out the thing for you, Hype, and Chris. And as I said, I'll just clear the chats and the old things so everybody starts afresh and nobody's moaning at each other. And And yeah, I'll check your community tab at some point, Mike, later on, when it's had a few hours for people to do stuff on it. Yeah, as I said, it's definitely worth checking out. It's very similar to BBC's Surviving Disaster. If you've seen the very good hour-long BBC when it's on YouTube, where it's got Adrian Edmondson doing a serious role in it, it's like that, but obviously, rather than it being an hour for the whole thing, it's going to be like 4 hours or something for all of it, and it's a much higher budget. But yeah, thank you everybody. Glad you enjoyed it. See you all. Peace out.